Now we have Dr. Ayan Bhattacharya, who is speaking on issues related to Indian economy and particularly with the northeastern economy. I am so happy that a physicist talks about economics is great, really great. I welcome Dr. Ayan Bhattacharya to speak on issues related to Indian economy, issues related to northeastern Indian economy. Mr. Dr.
And to chairman of this session and all the dignitaries who are present here. Am I audible properly? Okay. So yeah, I am a physicist. So I'm the a misfit in this August gathering. But yet I thought I can take a chance. My wife is an economist. But what happens is when you are married for 20 years, you try not to understand each other. So, anyway, I'm very, very thankful to the association for giving me this chance to speak among distinguished panel and distinguished audience. And I welcome everyone to Northeast. But since I am from Northeast, I'd like to welcome everyone here and also being a part of this host institute. So I'll welcome you like this. So welcome to Northeast, all those who have come from Northwest, Southwest, East, West and North. When I say it like that, it feels a little bit odd. And it feels odd because we are from the Northeast, but everyone else has a state. People are from J&K, people are from Punjab, people are from Uttar Pradesh, Maharashtra. So somewhere we have been bundled up. And how did we get bundled up into Northeast? That needs to be understood. So the story started around 1874. At that time, Bengal was a very big presidency. India was divided into 3 presidencies by the British, the Madras presidency, the Bombay presidency, and if you look at Bengal presidency, it's included the entire Northeast, the entire Burma, Bangladesh, Bihar, Orissa, and parts of Uttar Pradesh right up to Delhi. Everything came under Bengal presidency. And in 1866, there was a famine in Orissa, in which about 1 lakh people died. And at that time, the Secretary for India Affairs for the British Empire was Stuart Northcote, Henry Stuart Northcote. And he started a fact-finding committee. And from the fact-finding committee, they suggested, let's split up Bengal presidency. And so Assam got segregated. And when Assam got segregated, what happened is, the capital of Assam became Shillong, undivided Assam. And since Shillong is in the northeast of Kolkata, we became the northeast. Okay. The term northeast was first used by a person called Mackenzie, Alexander Mackenzie, in an official report in 1884. Okay. So from then on, a Northeast Frontier Agency, Northeast Frontiers, and then on, it kept on becoming Northeast and Northeast and Northeast. And then India became independent. Then 1971, 30th of December, India passed the 27th Amendment of the Constitution. And there it again, the whole cluster here was classified as Northeast. And then subsequently it was, they set up the Northeastern Council and so on. But again, the question, because I'm a physicist, I have to look into time and space. And if you look, you have a lot of people who have come from Delhi, and since India's capital also is at New Delhi, just think, from New Delhi, your flight would be flying southeast, not northeast, to reach northeast. So isn't that an oxymoron? So, yeah? Huh?
Plane southeast.
Yeah, the flight from Delhi to Guwahati, it flies in a southeast direction, not in the northeast direction. So you have to fly southeast to reach northeast. Okay. So as soon as you reach northeast, and as we are bundled up, people forget that there are 8 different states here, 8 different cultures. Assam is very, very different from Meghalaya. Meghalaya is different from Manipur, Mizoram, Tripura, Arunachal Pradesh, Sikkim, or Nagaland. So what happens is, because of this bundling up, the individual of the tribes. There are more than 200 tribes here, more than 400 languages and dialects. So we have linked languages here. Okay. Like in Meghalaya itself, there are three major hills: Khasi Hills, Jaintia Hills, and Garo Hills. But two major tribes, Khasis and Garos. Among the Khasis, there are different blends of Khasis, different dialects are there. But the situation becomes much worse when you go to a place like Nagaland or Arunachal Pradesh, where every village will speak a different language. And that's because of their geographical isolations. Now, all these isolations have led to a lot of, disconnect, I'll say, a mental disconnect as well as a physical disconnect from the mainland India. Now, there are reasons for that too. When India got partitioned, before that, Calcutta to Agartala distance was only 300 kilometers. Just after partition, the distance became 1600 kilometers. So, these are practical things that happen, no one taught us. Because we have taught history and geography in a particular way, so we don't realize those problems. So, because of the disconnect that has been happening mentally, there have been cases of insurgency, cases of discontent. But again, if we look at it from the economic point of view, are we really an economically deprived region? We have the finest tea, Assam tea, is one of the finest tea in the world. Assam silk, it is one of the finest silk in the world. Assam produces a lot of petroleum even today. If you look at even day after, since it has been planned that everyone will be going for sightseeing tour, try to buy Cherrapunji orange. Chances are you will not find it here because most of it goes to Dubai. It's exported from here. It's a very sought after commodity. It's very small in size but very, very tasty, very, very nutrient rich. Okay, the other thing you will find here, say Lakadong Haldi. Okay, Cherrapunji is famous for that. You will be taken to this waterfalls, Lakadikai. When you go approach there, you will find that people are selling cinnamon, but not those powder. You will find packets, 15 rupees, these big sticks, but you might find these big sticks also. Okay. So, it's not that we are economically deprived, it's the disconnect that is there. So, as a physicist, I don't have any solutions for that because we work in a different domain, we are digitally connected, but I urge, as economists, why don't we put forward some policies that helps the people out here? We have, because after getting bundled as Northeast, what's happening is our ideas are getting totally faded out. If you come to Northeast, stay here, the tour operators will give you something like 1 day in Kaziranga, 2 day, one day in Guwahati for Kamakhya Darshan, and 1 day for Cherrapunji, 1 day for Dauki. And if you want to be adventurous, you can go to Tawang in Arunachal Pradesh. So 5 days or 1 week, you finish your Northeast tour. But within that tour, you understand, you do not get the flavor of Northeast. So if we can get motivated to really understand the region, connect with the people here, understand simple philosophies. We know a lot about the African proverbs, like common you will find in WhatsApp forward. If you walk fast, you walk alone. If you something like that. If you walk fast, you walk alone. If you develop yourself, you have to walk slowly. Something like that. Okay. But here also we have, like in Khasi Hills here, right here, they have a Kamai Yaka Hak. A very simple statement, but it has a deeper philosophy. Like the only thing I want to imbibe, earn in life is justice, righteousness. We have a matrilineal system here. The boy does, like the girl does not come to the sasural, the boy goes to the sasural. Okay, the children take the mother's name.
Which community?
Khasi community, right here, in Cherrapunji and all around. Okay, and then what happens here? We don't have any concept of dowry. One of the safest places for women across all over the world, I can guarantee that. It's here. I'm really thankful you're clapping now, but this information is not known to anyone. I just hope that this kind of forums, we can be vocal, we can take out this. Please come here, explore, and help our people to reach out to the world. You'll find people of Northeast in every nook and corner of the hospitality industry. Go to Mumbai, Bangalore, Delhi, everywhere I found the waiter, waitresses, the managers, most of them are from Northeast because people here are very, very adept in hospitality. We are very adept in languages. Normally, every person here knows around 5 languages. They might not be very good in Hindi, but you can go around, speak in broken English, they will be quite good. Okay, being born and brought up here, I know at least 5 languages. Okay, my friends are there, 7, 8 languages. It's common. It's a very cosmopolitan type of a culture here. So I invite you to come here, explore. And when India explores Northeast, Northeast explores India, and that way, the economy develops, the relation develops, and the dots get connected. Thank you very much.